Are you going mine? I'm going to CES.
Hi, how's everybody doing? Those
Hello.
that I see, you look so excited to be in a math class right now. This is great. By my watch, we've got a couple of minutes, so I'm going to just wait a couple minutes because I think we're supposed to have about 28 people in class, and it's still a little bit early, so I'm going to, hold off to take attendance. So right now we've got 15 people. So if you're all right with waiting a minute or two. Everybody have a good summer?
Yeah.
Yep. Anybody get anything exciting done despite the COVID?
I'm working on a 1,000-piece puzzle.
Wow, that'll take a while.
I hate people.
I mean, there's nothing else to do,
Yeah.
We started it last night and we're like a little more than halfway done with it.
That's cool. That's cool. Our biggest excitement of the summer is my husband and I became grandparents for the first time. So that's we spent a lot of time going back and forth. My daughter lives near Middletown, New York in the Hudson Valley. And so we were back and forth a few times meeting the new little guy. He was born early and it was a little bit of an unexpected hurry, but all are healthy and he's growing up warm, so life is good.
Good.
Yeah, yeah. So, all right, let's see, we're up to 21 people and I've got 12:30. So I guess out of respect to the folks who are here on time, let's get started. Excuse me. I have to apologize. I'm not used to talking all day. This is my third class. And so I have, one of those little Hall's bleeders in my throat, in my mouth. My name is Chris Trella. I will be teaching you Math 110, which is intermediate algebra. I think that you might find some of the content somewhat familiar because you probably all had to take an algebra class in high school, and either it's been a while or it wasn't something that you felt you fully mastered. Hopefully by the end of the semester, everybody will be great with the content. I have been teaching at Niagara Community College for 14 years. I am an associate professor, but not gonna lie, I've been teaching math since the mid-'80s. So hopefully
The mid-fucking 80s.
Oh, remind me how old I am. So hopefully I have a little bit of experience with the subject matter and I can share it with you. One thing that I know is there's more than one way of explaining the topic. If I say something and it doesn't make sense, please ask me, and if I need to, I will dig through my bag of tricks and try to come up with another method that's mathematically correct that can help you. This class, when we went to online in the spring, I pre-recorded lectures and I just had Zoom meetings to answer people's questions. And because of that, because of everything that was going on, I did not make the Zoom attendance mandatory. And I lost so many students because they didn't watch the lectures on their own and they didn't come to the Zoom meeting. And so this fall, I am going to make attendance in the Zoom meetings mandatory. I'm not going to have anything pre-recorded on for you to watch. I'm going to just be teaching class in Zoom as if it were a regular class. And I'll show you how I'm going to do that a little bit later. However, I know even when I teach on-campus courses, I use a document camera instead of the dry erase board, and I use a smart pen so that I can record class for people who aren't there or people who don't, they're looking at their notes and they're like, wait, what did she say? And you can go back and actually listen to the class. So I will be recording every Zoom meeting. I have not started recording this meeting yet because in academic affairs, they told us we need to make you aware of the fact that you're being recorded before you record it. So hopefully everybody's all right with that. I will be recording all classes. And while attendance is mandatory and you get an attendance grade, if you can't make class will be recorded. Again, you've alluded to the fact that I am a little old. Hopefully I can get the technology working. I did practice a few times. I'm hoping that the recordings I can save as YouTube videos and give you guys a link to a YouTube video to watch class as opposed to having something in a different format that you have to use. In addition, what I'm working with is Surface, a touchscreen computer from the college. So I'm going to be writing right on the screen and sharing my screen with you for notes. So hopefully that will be written in a Word document, and
yeah, writing down the date on your notes
I
is
will
very helpful.
post those for you. Okay.
And then make sure you
So I'm going to start recording now. And what I'd like to do first, oh, I guess it is recording already. I apologize. What I'm going to do first is take attendance, and I will start every class with attendance. As I call your name, usually in an in-person class, I try to get to know people and try to put names with faces. And so I'm going to ask you to just take a minute and introduce yourself to the class. Tell us something about yourself, whether it's what program you're in or anything at all you want to share with us. So, Nicholas Albano.
I'm here.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. And what would you like to share?
I'm a returning student. I'm basically trying to get my electives done so I can get accepted into the PTA course next year, hopefully.
Good. The PTA is a great program. It's a real great program. Thomas Barber.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Good. And what would you like to tell us about yourself?
I guess I like programming games.
Okay. All right. Very cool. Very cool. Gianna Briglio.
Hi, I'm here.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. And what would you like to tell us?
Something interesting, I guess. I'm a bass player in a band.
Very cool. Electric bass, stand-up bass, or both?
Standard.
Very cool. I'm impressed.
Thank you.
That's got to be something to lug around. Kayla Doherty.
I'm here.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. And what would you like to tell us?
I'm a criminal justice major.
Okay. All right. So I promise I won't cross you, right? Mary Franklin.
I'm here.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
Good. And what would you like to share?
I am currently trying to get classes done so I can transfer into the radiation technology program.
Oh, that's a great program. My friend Elaine is, I think she's program coordinator now. She and I are on a lot of committees together. Great program, great team. Charles Gray.
Here.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. You?
Good. And what would you like to share?
I guess I'm a Buffalo Bills fan.
Okay, all right. Well, I think hopefully they'll be playing, but I don't think they're going to let people attend the games, right? So let's see what happens. I've been a Bills fan since the days of Jack Kemp and O.J. Simpson, so it's frightening. I'm used to disappointment. Jonathan, hi.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good. And what would you like to tell us?
I'm just taking classes so I could transfer into the PTA program also.
Okay, great. Mohammed Issa?
Yeah, it's Mohammed. How you doing? I'm taking the prerequisite courses I need to take so I could get into ride tech in next year, hopefully.
Okay, great. Valerie Ann Jacobson.
Here. I'm just getting my associates in liberal arts at NTRIP. I'm a returning student. Just trying to figure out what I want to do with my life.
Okay, all right. It's a good place to do it. Brad Lapham. Lapham?
It's Lapham.
Okay,
I am a returning student. I was last in college back in 2013, and I am a biology major.
Okay, very cool. Very cool. Glad you're here. Steve Lee.
Here.
Hi, how are you?
I'm going for good. Yeah. Going for business administration, my first year.
Okay, all right. Now in that business administration program, do you need through the applied calculus or do you just need the algebra sequence?
Just the algebra thing.
Okay, all right.
Pretty sure.
Okay, good place to start.
I'm not.
Elise Leeds.
I'm here.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. And what are you studying?
I'm in the health studies program.
Okay, all right, all right. Good. Lauren Maribel?
Yes, I'm here, and it is Maribel. You were right.
Okay. All right. What would you like to tell us?
Well, I'm a returning student also, and I'm trying to get into the computer science program.
Okay. All right. Very cool. Very cool. Jerome Marshall?
Hello,
Hi, how are you?
I'm well, and yourself?
Good, good. And what would you like to share?
I'm an extremely bored bodyguard, so I'm just kind of taking school just to fill time right now.
Okay, all right. Well, hopefully you get something good out of it. So, and math won't be boring, I promise. So, Miguel Mercado?
It's Mercado.
Mercado, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'm just getting my electives out of the way so I can get into the PTA program as well.
Okay, great, great. Hannah Mixon?
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. And what would you like to share?
I want to be a microbiologist. I'm bad at math, and I had a juggling phase in high school.
Okay, all right. Well, what I don't want to hear anybody say is that you're bad at math because you can convince yourself of that fact.
I'm terrible at math.
Say you're getting better at math. That you're learning.
Math is
to
the
be
only
successful.
class I failed in high school.
Well, you know what? Clean slate was starting over. In my mind, first day of class, everybody's starting with an A, and so let's all work to keep it there. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right. Olivia Moran?
Yes.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good, good. And what are you studying?
I'm planning on getting getting to the Rad Tech program.
Okay, great, great.
Yep.
Alyssa Navarro?
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. And what would you like to share with the class?
This is my first semester at NTRIP, and I'm a second year student, and I'm working on getting some gen eds out of the way, and then I want to transfer to a Florida school for accounting.
Okay. All right. Florida school. You're done with snow, eh?
Yeah, so done.
Okay. All right. All right. Olivia Navaroli?
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. And what would you like to tell us about yourself?
Well, for starters, I'm not good at math.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Well, hopefully you will make it better.
Yeah, I struggle, so I'm probably going to be asking for help all the time.
So, well, hopefully you'll do well.
Well, I hope so.
Okay. Aventa Robinson? Aventina?
It's Aviente.
Aviente. Oh, you sound so much prettier when you say it. I'll work on it. How are you?
Fine, how are you?
Good. And what would you like to tell us?
This is my first year and I'm majoring in accounting.
Okay. All right. All right. Good program. No good program. Don Tasia Robinson?
Dontasia Robinson.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm slaughtered your first name. How are you?
Good.
And what would you like to tell us?
Well, nothing. I'm from New York City. I want to be an architect, but I'm dorming right now. So.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. How are the dorms?
Good. Just cold, but it's good.
Okay. All right. All right. Christopher Salerno? Christopher?
Yeah, hello?
Hi, how are you?
I'm okay.
Good. And what program are you in?
I'm in liberal arts and sciences.
Okay. All right. Well, glad you're here. Zach Schultz?
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm well.
Good. And what are you studying?
I'm studying the health studies program.
Okay.
And I apologize if there's any loud noises. I do have a pet bird.
Okay. All right. Well, if you want to mute yourself, but if you have a question, please unmute and speak up. All right?
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Ryan Seppi? Ryan? No Ryan. Mike Slade?
I'm here.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Good. And what are you studying?
I'm studying to be a dietitian.
Okay. All right. That's a great program. Very cool. Very cool. Olivia Smith?
I'm here.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. And what are you at Entrip for?
I am majoring in criminal justice and I play on the basketball team.
Okay, all right, all right. Somebody was telling me earlier that right now they're thinking you guys are going to have a regular season.
Yeah, I hope so.
Okay, all right. I'll keep my fingers crossed for you. Keep us posted.
I will.
Okay, great. Morgan Spencer.
Hi, I'm here.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, good. And what are you studying?
Just liberal arts for now.
Okay. All right.
Hello?
Yeah,
Can you guys hear
Ryan?
me? Yeah. Sorry, my mic was not working.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm glad you've got it working now, and let me mark that you're here. What are you studying?
Computer information systems.
Okay, all right. Very cool. Good program. And Dominique Williams.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. And what are you studying?
I'm actually taking this class to get into the Rad Tech program.
Okay, all right, great. So I'm going to start every class by taking attendance. I have my little Chromebook next to me. I'm recording the attendance in Blackboard. Again, attendance is going to be a part of your grade. It's 5% of your grade. Your attendance grade is kind of just based on whether you're here or not. So that if you're here on time for every class, that part of your grade will be 100. If you're late, it's set up so that you don't quite get full credit. But because of the nature of the Zoom class, just if you come into class, let me know and make sure I record that, make note in attendance that you are here. So what I'd like to do now is show you folks how I'm going to make use of Blackboard. I will be posting everything in Blackboard. And then in Blackboard, I'd like to show you where the syllabus is and walk you through the syllabus. I'd like to, in Blackboard, show you my math lab, which is where the homework is going to be and how that works. And then I'd like to give you a couple of notes on a couple of real introductory topics, a couple of definitions, just so that I can show you next class where you can find the notes and the recording of the class posted. So if that sounds all right with everybody, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with you. And I'm going to start in Blackboard. Is everybody familiar with how to get to Blackboard from the college website?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, great. And I have to periodically check chat because I forgot to do that last class. This is the home page. I have to apologize. I need to rearrange those. Those aren't quite in the right order. The first announcement is in this first day information, and it's the Zoom information that I sent you an email. I'm so glad you're all here. I'm so glad you made it. That Zoom link will be here in announcements in this first day information for you all semester. Next, everything that I use will mostly be in this content folder. And if I click on content, there's a folder here for handouts. Right now it's empty, there's nothing in it. From time to time for class, we'll be doing things like word problems, and I'll have a handout with the word problems written if you ever want to print it out in advance to work with it. This next folder is for notes. Again, this one is empty. It will have two folders in it. One will have the Word document with the handwritten notes that I'm going to put on the screen like a blackboard for you in class. Your best bet is if you can take your own notes. I know as a student, if I wrote my own notes, it was easier for me to remember them than if somebody just gave me a handout with notes. So I try to encourage you to take your own notes. However, I know some people can't. They can't keep up writing-wise. So the notes will always be posted there in Blackboard. And there will also be another folder with the link to all of the recorded classes. Next folder is for tests and quizzes. Some of the quizzes might be posted in Blackboard. The tests, some of the quizzes will be in My Math Lab. The tests will be in My Math Lab. In My Math Lab, you just type in your answers. That's not enough. In math, I want to know how you're getting those answers. I want to see your work. So I expect you to, in addition to doing the tests and quizzes in My Math Lab, I expect you to put your work down, pencil and paper. And I will show you as it gets closer, there will be a drop clock for you to upload your work, pencil and paper, into Blackboard. If you're a person who really likes to type math, you can just type your work in there. If you have something like a tablet or a touch screen where you can do it that way, that's fine. If not, I think pretty much everybody has a cell phone that takes pictures. As it gets closer to the time that you have to submit that work that way, I will show you how you can submit your work for tests and quizzes in Blackboard. I'm just going to click on that for a minute. Yeah, over here, there is also a document on how to upload that work if you want to look it over in advance. Next, Zoom information. There is the information about the link for Zoom for class, and there's also another document that I already have opened down below that I'm going to pull up with my office hour. My office hours are, oops, that is a syllabus and not office hours. I apologize. Let me go back and try to download that again. Oh, here it is. My office hours are Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 9 to 10, Tuesday, Thursday from 10 to 11. I'm going to be sitting at my desk with Zoom open. Please use this link to stop by, introduce yourself. If you ever have a question on anything, please feel free to ask. If anything's ever going on in your life that's interfering with your coursework, please let me know. As an instructor, as an advisor, it breaks my heart if I have somebody who kind of just disappears for a while and they come back and, you know, something really has been happening and I haven't been able to help them because they haven't been able to tell me. When I have advisees come in and meet with me for registration, and I'm, you know, they're telling me that they have a problem with the class, and I said, have you talked to the instructor? Have you gone for help? And half the time the answer is no, and I'm like, no, that's what office hours are for. We're at a community college, we're not at a four-year research institution. Our jobs are to help you folks learn. And so if you have a problem with anything, if you have a question with anything, please ask in class or please come to my office hours and make use of them. That's what they're for. Our goal is to make sure that you're successful, that you pass. Beyond the Zoom information and content, is it going back? There's a copy of the syllabus and schedule. I'm going to open the schedule first. The schedule is a spreadsheet, and it has a list of the days. the day of the week. If there's a holiday in there, it's there. There's a list of the topics, the assignment, and what's here is the date that the assignment is due. I want you to look at the topics and the assignments. You see how the first one is P1, P2, and then we go down and we've got like 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3. They're named that way to help you. Anything with a P is from the preliminary chapter of the textbook, and then that second number is the section. So P6 means I'm in the preliminary chapter, section 6. Over here, P7 means I'm in chapter 1, section 7. If anybody has to, after you take Math 110, take Math 111, you're going to find it's the same textbook. It'll be this, depending on how you buy it, it'll be the same MyMathLab access code. If you're buying it from the bookstore, please let them know you need the 2-year access, because the full access, because the same is used for both classes. And I'll show you how to find the virtual textbook when we get into MyMathLab in a minute or two. I'm going to backtrack now and open the syllabus. And if we look at the syllabus, again, this is Math 110 Intermediate Algebra. My name's Chris Torella. My office on campus is C277, but unless we're teaching a hands-on part of class, they really want to try to discourage us from going to campus, so I won't be there often. If you need to get a hold of me, you're best off going to that Zoom office hour or sending me an email. My office phone number is here. I can check my voicemails from home, but I'll probably only be doing it once a day. I check my email several times a day, so if you need to get a hold of me, email's probably the best way. The textbook for the class is Mr. Blitzer's Algebra and Trigonometry. If you want to, you can purchase, I believe, at the bookstore, a paper copy of the book, a hardcover copy of the book. You don't need to have the book. The book is optional. What you need to have is the MyMathLab access code. When you get the access code, you get a virtual copy of the book. If there's anybody who has a virtual copy of the book and finds that they want a actual textbook, please let me know and I can meet you in my office. I don't necessarily have copies of the new edition, but I have copies of the older editions that I'm more than willing to lend out to students. As you look at the student learning outcomes in the course description, you're going to find this is kind of pretty much a traditional algebra class. We'll be covering equations, factoring, graphing. We're going to end with a unit on trigonometry, real basic introduction just to right triangle trig. If you are going to take Math 111 afterwards, you'll take it much further. There will be 4 units in the class. There will be 4 exams in the class. The exams are on the schedule. The tentative exam dates are also listed here. I'm going to give exams during class time. I'll have Zoom open so that I can sort of watch you guys to make sure that everybody is doing the work on their own. And again, while the tests are going to be in MyMathLab and you're entering the answer, you're going to have to submit that work, pencil and paper. If for no other reason, in MyMathLab, if you type an answer in wrong, you don't get any credit. If you accidentally hit a comma instead of a period or something, you're typing your answers in all wrong. If I can look at your pencil and paper work, if there's any signs of intelligent life, I can give you half credit for the question and get partial credit. And also by seeing your work, I can make sure that it's indeed your work. Quizzes, some will be in MyMathLab and some will be in Blackboard, and as it gets close to a quiz, we'll make sure that you're familiar with that. Also as quizzes, if somebody makes a mistake on a test, that's not a good thing, but if you can learn from your mistakes, you can turn it into a good thing. So I require everybody to do test corrections. Test corrections will not change the test grade, but the test corrections will count as a separate quiz grade. Homework again will be in my math lab, and in a few minutes we'll take a look at what I mean when I refer to my math lab. Class participation, you're expected to be here, you're expected to participate. I'm going to tell you, when I teach, if nobody asks a question, I go on the assumption that everybody's comfortable, everybody's fine, and I don't want you to be bored, so I'm going to move on to the next thing. So please, if you have a question on anything, ask. Unmute yourself, ask your question. I want to run this, even though we're meeting in Zoom, I want to run this like a regular class. I hope everybody's comfortable asking questions, participating, speaking up for yourselves. Again, it's a blended class. We'll be meeting in Zoom, and just like with a regular class, attendance is important. I expect you to be here. Again, if there's anything going on in your life that you can't make it, let me know, and I will try to do whatever I can to help you. Also, because of the whole Zoom thing and the lab homework, a lot of this class is on, almost all of this class will be through the internet. It's not considered an online class because we're meeting all at the same time. In a strictly online class, you do everything on your own at your own time. If you ever have a problem with your technology, if your internet isn't working, if your computer isn't working, please reach out to me, reach out to OIT. After the way everything was hurried online last spring, SUNY made grants available. Campuses have computers and things that they can lend out to students if they have a need. If your internet is sketchy at home, come on campus, use the Learning Commons, use any of the communal space at campus. Everything's social distanced, everything's being cleaned, it should be safe to be there. Also, when the whole campus went online, OIT made sure that our Wi-Fi is easily accessible through the school parking lot, so that if you can't get into the building and your internet's not working, please feel free to sit in the parking lot at campus. I think there's also some places with tables and chairs in the courtyards and by the cafeteria where you can sit outside and do your work. Your grade's going to be determined by 55% by your exams, 30% by your homework, 10% by quizzes, 5% attendance. The grades will be given on the scale that's given. Again, right now, everybody's starting with an A. Please work hard to keep that A. I want everybody to be successful in here. If for some reason you decide you want to take this class, SU, at NTRIP we call it SU, successful, unsuccessful, as opposed to pass fail. Right now, it's at the faculty member's discretion what is considered S, what is considered U. I'm using 65 or higher as successful, as passing. Other than that, it's unsuccessful or failing. I know that can vary by instructor to instructor. I know there are certain people in my department where it feels that you have to have a C or better to get a successful, to get a pass. So make sure that that's clear with all of your instructors, what that cutoff point is. I do know, though, that there has been discussion at Faculty Senate about changing that to a standard grade campus-wide. If that does have to change, I promise I will let you know. If anything goes on in your life where you can't finish the class, as long as you're passing beforehand, you can take an incomplete. If that needs to happen for you, please reach out and let me know. The notice here about cell phones is more for when I have on-campus classes, but please pay attention in class, set your cell phone aside, unless of course you're watching class through the cell phone. There's people who text through class, talk to other people through class, are usually not successful. I have gotten accommodations requests from some students. If you're somebody who's needed accommodations in the past, something like a note taker, something like extra time on a test, please, if you have not yet done so, call the phone number that's listed, reach out to Stephen Burns, our coordinator for accessibility services. If you're somebody who does need accommodations for a test, I hate asking, but please send me an email and remind me. before the test to make sure that I remember to give you the extra time and whatever else you need. If you're somebody in the past who's needed a note taker, I hope you're gonna find that that's not necessary, because everything that I write in terms of notes, I will post in Blackboard. And again, I will put recordings of the class, hopefully as a YouTube link in Blackboard. If you find you're going to need extra help beyond what I can give you in class, beyond what I can give you in office hours, beyond what can be provided through My Math Lab, we have the Academic Center for Excellence. Previous semesters, you've been able to stop in and get tutoring help on a drop-in basis. The schedule for this semester has not yet been made. I don't know if they're going to actually have live tutors there, or if it's something that you're going to have to set up through Zoom meetings. We haven't been given that information yet this semester. As soon as I get that schedule, that information, I will share it with you. Academic integrity policy, don't cheat. If you are suspected of cheating on any test or assignment, you'll get a 0. If it happens the second time, Academic Affairs gets involved and you will fail the class. Computer usage, I believe we've talked about that already. Starfish is available to you. There are success coaches available through Starfish. I don't do a lot of communicating through Starfish. Instead, I'm more likely to use email and Zoom meetings, but I do have to, a couple of times during the course of the semester, send out progress reports in Starfish. Again, attendance is mandatory. If there's something that's going on in your life that you can't make class, please reach out to me and let me know, and I will try to work with you. Usually at the bottom of the syllabus, there's a tear off that I ask you to make sure you go through and read the syllabus carefully and return the tear off to me, because you're getting it digitally, not via paper. I ask you to please, before the end of the week, go through and read all of the details in the syllabus and send me an email if you agree to all of the policies. If you don't agree to the policies, please send me an email and tell me what you don't agree to, and we'll try to work things out for you. I know I went through that fast. I know it's boring to hear me talk at you about it, but I want to make sure that everybody is kind of on the same page at the beginning of the semester. Does anybody have questions about anything so far? And I'm not seeing any questions in chat. So, oh, wait, there's 2 in chat. I apologize. Oh, I think that's from a preceding group. Anybody have questions on anything?
No.
Okay, if not, I'm going to go back to content. And over here, My Lab's information, it's, there's documents that show you how to get into My Math Lab. I believe there might be a video in there also, but rather than going through that, what I'd like to do is just take you right to that My Math Lab link and show you how to access things. When you use My Math Lab, you should go in through Blackboard. The course is linked through Blackboard. Do not use the My Math Lab website, but use this link over here in Blackboard. When you click on it, there's the course home. There is all assignments. I'm going to right now click on all assignments. The first time that you do that, they're going to ask you to register. If you've used My Math Lab before, you shouldn't necessarily have to re-register and create a new account in My Math Labs. There will be fields that you need to fill in order to do that. I have used My Math Lab repeatedly before, so I don't need to do that registration process. When you register, please make sure that you use an email that you're going to, oh heck. Give me a second. I apologize. I expected another screen to come up because I used this for my other section of 110. The other screen isn't coming up. So give me a second. But when you register, when you create an account, if you haven't already, please use an email address that you check regularly, because if you ever use the Ask Vector functionality, I will reply to you via the email. And nothing's more frustrating than when I send that email and it bounces right back because you don't have an email address in there. Usually when you look at this, you'll get a, I want to show you what the screen looks like. Will you guys be patient if I go into a different class and show you what the screen looks like to see the person? Okay. Oh, they don't have my name. Oh, I'm not doing good here. Sorry, folks.
It's all good.
When you first go into MyMathLab after you create your account, it's not taking me to that screen either. Oh dear. You'll get a page that on one side it will have a picture where it says access code. And if you have an access code that you bought from the bookstore, you're going to click on that and enter that access code. On the other side, if you don't have an access code, they're going to give you two options where you can purchase it online directly from Pearson. One option is for 24 months, and it's $105. If you're going to take Math 111, you want that because the same textbook is used for both 110 and 111, and so you're going to want access for more than one calendar, more than one semester. Otherwise, if you're just taking Math 110 and you think you're going to finish successfully in one semester, you can get the $70 one semester access code. If you are buying your books on financial aid, you want to go through and use the buy it through the bookstore and get the bookstore access code and enter it that way. If you're paying out of pocket, I do believe that buying it directly from Pearson is a little bit less expensive. Either way, that page is going to have on one side the access code, place to enter your access code, the other side the place to buy the access code. On the bottom of that page in fine print, there's something that says, if you're waiting for financial aid, and then in tiny blue letters, it says, click here for 14 days free access. If you're not going to be able to purchase it for a little while, I ask that you please use that 14 days free access. It gives you full access to MyMathLab. What happens after 2 weeks is they tell you, oh, no, you can't use this anymore. Put in the access code. After 2 weeks, if you cannot afford MyMathLab, I don't want to lose any students because they can't afford the materials. Please reach out to me, and instead of using the MyMathLab, I can give you worksheets to do. The difference is when you do the worksheets, you must submit them by the required due date. and you can only do them once. If I'm correcting something pencil and paper, I don't give do-overs. You're going to find as we look at that My Math Lab that you have infinite do-overs. So over here, I'm looking at the My Math Lab. I'm going to go and look at all assignments. And so here you're going to see a list of all of the home work assignments and quizzes. And I apologize, this is not your class.
So do the homework assignments have like a set date each week when they're due, or are they just kind of like throughout the whole semester?
If you look at it, each assignment has a specific date in which it's due.
Okay, cool.
After the due date, over here, you're going to see something that might say past due. If it says past due, it does not mean the assignment is closed. It means click on it and work on it. When you click on it and work on it, something's going to pop up and say, do you really want to do that because there's a late penalty? And I want to tell you, yes, you really want to do that, because if you don't do that, you get a 0 for anything that's not done. And zeros hurt your average horribly.
Okay.
If you work on something late, the late penalty is 2.5% a day. So if you didn't do an assignment at all and you turn it in 1 day late, it means the best grade you can get is a 97.5 as opposed to 100. 2 days late, the best grade you can get is a 95 as opposed to 100, and so on. Let's say you did all but 3 questions and only 3 questions are late. You can still go in and work on those 3 questions and it will better your score, because the late penalty will only be assessed to those 3 questions. The only thing you can do is improve your score. If anybody works on something super late, I mean, if you're really, really, really like weeks late, it's going to look like you're hardly getting any credit at all. You might not be getting any credit at all. I promise you, at the end of the semester, I go through and click on every assignment that was turned in late and make sure that you get at least half credit. So no matter what My Math Lab tells you, you will get at least half credit for everything that you turn in late. Something is going on in your life, a legitimate reason that you couldn't get something done, if you were in the hospital or death in the family or something like that, let me know. I'm less likely to change the due date for you and more likely to tell you, please let me know when you complete it and I'll take away the late penalty if you had a legitimate reason for being late. Okay? I'm going to click on one of the assignments. And, oh, also, if anything happens that a whole bunch of people want extra time, I have been on occasion known to push a due date back. However, I will not push a due date back until I give extra credit to everybody who had it done on time. So I'm all about rewarding people who get things done on time. Now I'm in this homework and I'm going to just randomly pick a question because I want to sort of show you how it works. Usually you're going to go through and do the questions in order. As I look at this question, it's going to come up. And I am going to intentionally type in a wrong answer. And you're going to see that it tells me that I got it wrong. So I'm going to go through and try it again. And I'm going to intentionally get it wrong 3 times. After I intentionally get it wrong 3 times, they'll tell me what the correct answer is. Oh, this is a 2-part question. And then ask me to put that answer in. It's going to let me go on to the next question, but this one, it's only going to say that I had half right. If I go back, it will let me, do you see where I am down here at the bottom, similar question? It will let me redo the question with a similar question and give me infinite do-overs until I get it correct. So in my math lab, they give you 3 chances at that question, and if you still don't get it, you can click that similar question.
The
so you
answer's
get
6.
infinite do-overs. What? Somebody said something. You okay?
The answer is 6.
The final answer is 6, but here they're asking for an expression. So the expression is the
Excuse me?
absolute. Go ahead.
I can't see anything that you're doing on your screen right now. It's just showing my screen. Are you presenting? Are you sharing your screen or no?
I'm sharing my screen, yes.
I can't see anything. I don't know why it's like glitching or something, but
Okay, I'm sorry, Mo. Is anybody else? Can everybody else see the screen? The My Math Lab? Yes? I'll tell you what, let me stop the share and try starting it again. Mo, what do you see now? Do you see everybody?
Nah, I just do.
You don't see anybody? Anything?
I can see you, but I can see what you're presenting earlier. It must be
Okay.
then.
All right, I'm gonna go back to screen share and try it again. Now, do you see the assignment in the question in My Math Lab?
Yeah,
I see it. Thank you.
Okay. All right, so this one, they wanted me to type an expression. Please notice there's a toolbar down here to enter symbols that you might need for the question. I need the absolute value bars. And then I'm going to type in the -5 minus 1. And that expression is right. And now the second part of the question, they want the 6. But you get infinite do-overs so that if you get something wrong, you can do a similar question to get it. The other thing that you have in My Math Lab, up here in the right-hand corner, question help. I'm going to click on that. First thing is help me solve this. If you do help me solve this, they take you and walk you through step by step how to solve a problem, especially a multi-step problem. Second option is there's a video. You can pull up a video and it will be of an instructor solving a similar problem on a dry erase board. Third thing that shows up in question help is textbook, and that will take you to the page of the virtual textbook where the content is displayed. And then this next one, Ask My Instructor, gives you a field where you can ask me a question about the problem. It sends me the question that you were working on, the last answer you put in, and any question that you have. With those, I promise that I will try to respond within a couple hours. The only time it might be later is if you send a question after like 9 or 10 o'clock at night, then you'll get the response from me real early in the morning. If you ever have a question for me, I try to respond within a few hours. If I don't, please resend your question, okay? But these responses I give, and they get sent to that email address that you gave me. So everybody all right with the how to use My Math Lab? You don't need to click save. They are all automatically saved for you. If you do a problem over and over again, only the correct answer it counts. There is no penalty for, if it took you a couple of tries to get there. On a test, however, it's a little bit different, and a test or quiz, you only get one shot at each question. All right? So far, so good?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna hit save. Go back in My Math Lab to now. I guess I'll go through here. If I go to the course home, It's taking a while. In the course home, on the side, you're going to find something multimedia library. Does everybody see where I am? If I click on the multimedia library, this is where, you know how I said it's assignment P1, over here's chapter P, here's chapter 1, here's chapter 2. So for assignment P1, you're going to go to chapter P, you're going to go to section 1, and then you can click here and get video explanations for everything that's in the chapter. Or over here, you can click on the multimedia textbook, and when you click Find Now, it'll give you a link that'll take you to that page of the virtual textbook, so that you do have access to the virtual textbook through MyMathLab. All right? Any questions about any of this MyMathLab stuff? I am so sorry that I can't get that registration screen to pop up right for you, but it's because I've used it too many times. It doesn't want to treat me like a new student anymore. So, any questions?
No.
I have a question.
Sure.
So, like, if we get the online textbook with the code and we buy it, do we need that to get into MyMathLab?
You can, you will eventually either need a code from the bookstore, if you got one, or you need to buy the code online. Before you get the code, you can get that 14 days free access to give yourself time to purchase the code. But you
No,
need,
I'm just like confused about like the connection between the textbook and MyMathLab.
the textbook, it's a digital textbook that you get through MyMathLab. If you don't want a hardcover textbook, let me know. If you, I'm sorry, you don't need a hardcover textbook. If you do want a hardcover textbook, let me know and I can lend you a back copy that I have in my office. But everything that's in the textbook, you have available to you with like, let's see if I can click the wrong thing once more. I'm so sorry. Available to you through this digital textbook. And so it's hopefully coming up. It'll take you page by page to the digital textbook. So you do need the access code. You don't need the paper textbook unless you want it. And if you're okay with the old issue, I can lend you the old issue if you want it. But if you want to purchase your own book to keep for forever and ever, amen, you can do that too. Or you can also, they also have copies of the textbook on reserve in the library if you want to look at it there. So what you must buy is the access code. If you want to, you can buy the book, but you don't have to. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. And this book has been really slow coming up today, but it really, if anybody, we will sometime during Zoom class use things, pull up the virtual textbook and use things. It's just really, really slow today. You see here, I'm on page 2 of the book. It's still coming. And so do you see, this is a page 2 of the textbook, and I can arrow over to get to page 3 and flip pages as if it were a regular, no, it skipped over 3. I'm on page 4 now, as if it's a regular textbook. Okay, so that you do have access to the textbook. Okay? Is the virtual book enough for you, or do you want a hardcover book?
Oh, no, I'm good with the virtual book. Thank you.
Okay, and that's the access code gives you that.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Then other things in Blackboard, if you need to email myself or anybody else in class, probably the easiest way to do it is through the Blackboard email. If I go to the send email, you can send all instructors will send an email to me. If you want to, you can send an email to everybody in the class. If you want to, you can select users and you can send an email to an individual in class. My name is listed here also. You can send an email to me. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to send an email to everybody. welcome, and it's not going to be very creative. I'm going to just say hi and hit submit, and hopefully everybody at your Teen Wolves account will receive an email from me. It's probably the easiest way to email anybody. Other than that, my grades, I use the Blackboard gradebook. Your My Math Lab grade, your homework grade will be in My Math Lab. There will just be one column in the Blackboard gradebook where periodically I will update your My Math Lab average. Although I do not submit zeros for missing assignments until the end of the semester. And so I know that for the most part, your grades in Blackboard are up to date, but I've had people complain in the past because all of a sudden the second last week of class, their grade plummets, and it's because I replaced missing assignments with a zero. I don't do that until the end of the semester because once I do that, you can't go back and work on those assignments, and I do want to leave assignments open for you to finish. All right? Any questions about anything in Blackboard? Everybody good so far?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, then I'd like to show you how I'm going to give notes. So I'm, very little bit of notes today, but we are going to do a little bit of notes today and do a little bit of talking about math. Right now, can everybody see my blank Word document?
Yep.
Okay, I am going to use a pen, and what today is August 31st. And the one thing that you must do is you must register in My Math Lab, MML. And now I'm going to stop and I'm going to ask, can everybody read that? I know I don't have good penmanship. I will print instead of write. Is that large enough? Is that legible enough? Go ahead.
Yep.
Everybody all right? My daughter took an online class this semester, the summer, pardon me, and the teacher didn't use a touch screen. Instead, she videotaped, she had video of her doing lessons, and it was illegible to my daughter. It did no good. She was mad. I was mad. The teacher didn't address it. Please, if you ever cannot read what I'm doing, let me know, because it does no good if I give notes that you can't read. We're going to start looking today at chapter P, I'm sorry. Chapter, why did that flip all the way to the bottom? Chapter P, preliminary chapter. And we're going to start today looking at some real basic definition stuff. The first thing that I want to talk about is a constant. Has anybody heard that word constant before?
Not in math.
Not in math? Outside of math, when you hear of something being constant, what does it mean?
Yes.
Repetitive.
It's always the same, yes?
Yeah.
And that's what a constant is in math. A constant is a symbol whose value is always the same. It always has the same value. So can anybody think of an example of a symbol that always represents the same value?
Pi.
Pi. That's one that I hear a lot. Pi always represents the same number. If you're doing calculations, if you've got your calculator, you can press that Pi button on the calculator. It always represents the same thing. Sometimes you see this lowercase e. Lowercase e is Euler's constant. If you take Math 111, you're going to find that you need to be familiar with Euler's constant. It again is a irrational number, a multi-digit number that always has the same
I
value.
got a question.
Go ahead.
After that E, what's that one word?
It's E-U-L-E-R-S. It's pronounced Euler's, but it's spelled Euler's. It's the name of a German mathematician. It's a constant that was named after him.
Thank you.
But how about if I write this symbol? That symbol too, when you see that, does it always represent the same value?
Yes.
Yes. And so we're going to find that a lot of times when you refer to a constant is just your numbers. All of the numbers are considered constants. So 2 might be a constant. 59 might be a constant. They're symbols that always represent the same value. So constant, all right. Well, if something's not constant, the next thing we're going to talk about is a variable. And is everybody familiar with the idea that if something is a variable, it means it can change?
Yes.
So a variable is a symbol whose value can change. And so can anybody think of any symbols that they've seen in math that have been used as variables, symbols that can take on different values?
X.
Yeah, I think pretty much everybody's favorite is X. You see cell for X. Sometimes you see Y. Sometimes you see N. Has anybody ever seen this variable? This variable is called theta. It's a letter of the Greek alphabet. And while there's 26 letters of the alphabet, if you count uppercase and lowercase differently, what does that make? 52 variables? Sometimes that's not enough. Sometimes people go through and start using letters of the Greek alphabet. So sometimes we'll see things like that. Most often you'll see them if you're starting to talk about something like trigonometry, something where Greek letters are used as variables for angles an awful lot of the time. So constant, always the same, variable can change. We put them together to make things that are called algebraic expressions. And an algebraic expression is made up of constants, variables, and your symbols of operation. And by symbols of operation, I mean things like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. And so if I were to try to look at an algebraic expression, I might have something like x plus 5, or have a constant and a variable being added. I might have another example, something like 2xy. And so here I want to ask, is everybody familiar with the idea that if there is no symbol in between, this means that I'm multiplying 2 times x times y. Is everybody familiar with that idea that if the symbols are right next to each other with no operation in between, it means multiplication?
Yes.
Yes.
Instead, if I have something like 3x plus 7 over x, y, z.
Can you scroll up?
Pardon? You want it higher?
Can you scroll up a little?
Oh, you want to see what I wrote already?
Yeah.
Up. Too far?
Perfect.
good? And please, thank you for asking me. If I start writing too fast or talking too fast, please let me know. I think this stuff is fun and I get on a roll and I start going faster and faster and faster. Slow me down if you need to. Thank you for asking me to. This next one, 3xy plus 7 over xyz. That fraction bar, can anybody tell me what operation that represents?
Division.
Division. It's always the numerator divided by the denominator, or the bottom divided by, I'm sorry, the top divided by the bottom. So far so good?
Yeah.
Yes.
Another type of algebraic expression that you see, another type of operation. Can I scroll up?
Yeah.
Another thing that you might see are exponents. And exponents, at their most basic, represent repeated multiplication. So if I have something like b to the n, b is called the base, n is called the exponent, and is everybody familiar with the idea that that means I'm going to take that base and multiply it by itself n times? And so that b to the n is the product of n factors of b. So for example, if I have 2 to the third, that means I'm taking the product of 3 2's, which is, anybody?
12.
2 times 2 is?
4.
Times 2?
Oh, my bad. 8.
That's okay. It's probably been a while. So instead, if I have, oops, go back to the pen. If I have 3 to the 4th, that would mean I'm multiplying 4 3's. And 3 to the 4th, 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 would give me, let's see, these multiplied to 9, these multiplied to 9. 9 times 9 would be 81.
Yep.
What if instead I had negative 2 to the third? That would mean negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2. Negative times negative would be positive. Times another negative would make it negative 8. If I had that negative 3 to the 4th, I'd have that negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3. Negative times negative is
Positive.
Times negative is negative.
Negative.
Times negative is
Positive.
So that would be 81. Rule of thumb, if I take a negative number to a power, it's very important that I put that negative number in parentheses. If the power is odd, the answer is negative. If the power is even, the answer is positive. But instead, if I wrote it like this, negative 3 to the 4th, are there any parentheses there?
No.
No.
No. So what this means is I'm taking the negative of 3 to the 4th, which would give me negative 81. So that if there isn't parentheses and there's a negative in front of an exponent, something being raised to a power, it means whatever your answer was, you're going to make it negative, the opposite of that. Notice the difference between the -3 to the 4th in parentheses and the -3 to the 4th without parentheses. It's important, especially if you're evaluating things like that with a calculator, that you use your parentheses keys if you're raising a negative number to a power. Because if I'm raising a negative number to a power in parentheses, sometimes that answer is positive, as opposed to if I do it without parentheses, it'll always give me that negative. Does everybody see the difference between them?
Yes.
Has everybody heard that before?
Yes.
Yeah, all right. Well, at this point, I just wanted to make sure we had a couple of notes today so that I could save them in Blackboard and show you next class where they would be. Hopefully this is recording it, and I'm gonna save that also as a YouTube in Blackboard and show you that next class. I'll see if I can get more information about the ACE by next class, and I'll share with you the link that you need if you need technical support from Pearson with My Math Lab. I apologize if I forgot to mention this before. Last I heard, you can't call them for support because right now, because of COVID, they don't have people answering phones. You have to get the support from them digitally, and I will share that link with everybody in email today, okay? Anybody have questions on anything thus far?
No.
No. Is this all right for a wait? I mean, we could meet on class, but I know that with all the social distancing rules, they're really trying to discourage it. Is this going to be close enough for you guys to be being in a class, watching the notes on Zoom like this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, this is more chill than I thought.
Pardon me?
This is more chill than I thought.
It's better than you thought?
Yes.
I hope. Please also, I'm not just giving it lip service. Stop me and ask questions the same way you would stop me and ask questions if we were in a regular classroom.
Big fact.
In an ideal world, I don't like lecturing. I like talking to you about math and asking you questions and having you do the answers. In Zoom, that might be a little bit awkward, but I'm going to try to do as much give and take as I can possibly get from you guys, okay?
Okay.
All right. So thank you for being here. Thank you for taking this class. Hopefully you get out what you need. And I hope to see you guys all on Wednesday.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good one. We'll see you. Bye-bye.